Let's see. Hey, yes, that'll do. And we green. Still getting past a little bit of technical difficulties. Yeah, West Coast Wise in here. He says it's too late for him. We probably gotta get West Coast. Yeah, get West Coast on the rebound. Did you get a chance to check the did you get a chance to check the website and the podcast? Were you on yesterday, Edward Green? You weren't on yesterday? Yeah, we had a here, check this out. The podcast was it was a story of three young brothers that got caught up in a they got caught up in a COINTELPRO operation in Colorado, in Denver, during the George Floyd protests. You know, they were set up, you know, from what I understand of the podcast, as Black identity extremists. And this podcast, I guess Western Sound is the company that makes it. They got a host on there, Trevor Aronson. But the website, the link I just put in there, they got the FBI documents, they got photos, and you know, the undercover recordings. Don Bishop, we didn't see you yesterday either, did we? Yeah, you know, so we was covering that. You know, from the standpoint of also looking at, you know, just our culture. in terms of, uh, being on point and how we require people to be on point, and how we make sure that everybody's on point, and how that's very important, in this situation, that this is one application, right, of how just our cultural practices, right, when we live this thing out, when we do it like we supposed to do, we wouldn't be susceptible to this kind of thing. But fortunately for the brothers, they didn't have the, kind of terrorist activity in mind that these cats was thinking about. So of the three brothers, one brother got 3 years probation. One brother got he got his firearms red flagged. It's a very broad brush they're using, which is why, it's of interest to me, as somebody who could possibly. But see, that was something that one time at a rally, right? That was actually one of those moments. That was quite a interesting moment. That was quite an interesting moment right there. Dumont is building in front of the rally. And, as he's talking, he comes to a point where he says, look, I know some of y'all out there right now is agents. So when he said that, I'm just coming into the knowledge. So I'm like, whoa, there's agents in here. And then he just said, but it don't matter, because all you could do is go back and report that we tell you the truth. At the time, that didn't really relax me so much. I didn't have the full, I caught what he said, but I still was like, wait a minute. I can't really wrap my head around that at the time, but it's definitely an actual fact. Icy guy. Were you on yesterday, Don Bishop? Or you missed it? You said, I'm behind on the bill. What? Just want to add on to what you said. Requirements for people being on point. Cultural practices. How do you see each one teach one to reach one versus each one teach one to reach some? Well, it's the difference between doing this one day and doing this 2 days. You know, the ultimate uh, message behind the each one, teach one, and reach one is that you know, the ultimate accomplishment there is that everybody get the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like if you say, you know, if we're all here, especially you know, you gotta remember, I don't know when exactly this started being common for brothers in the nation to say, but just to say that, you know, if we standing here, there's only a handful of us in the world, Craig, the world, right? And, you know, we got to teach said world, uh, you know, where we're going to start at, just, you know, each one teach one. We do that today, and we do that tomorrow, and we do that the next day, and we do that the next day. And that's our way of life, then you're going to see growth and development. You know, but ultimately, it's saying the same thing. And agree something very true. When I'm at work and speak like things, they tell me to chill. I always tell my coworkers, if what I'm saying is true, I'm not worried about what comes with it. But you know, the gig is a little bit different. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, you got to go there and eat ham sandwiches. But you know, you can leave them ignorant. You ain't got to, you ain't got to let them know, you know, go ahead and you with your loop, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, the boys just let them stay 85%, you know, if you know, depending on where you at, you know, in terms of them seeing that you got it, you know, the best way, you know, they're going to see that is from your actions anyway, especially over time. You know what I'm saying? We start off with just explaining to people that we meet that we're God. But as time go on, you know, our ways and actions start to see it. People start to see, you know, whether they bear witness to the truth or not, right? They could bear witness that you are different than these other people out here. You're not with them. So many are called, few are chosen. Indeed, you know, and that's, you know, one of the things about being on point right there too. You know, I hate to say this, but look, everybody can't be on point. Like it's just a simple, listen, people had to be qualified. They, they even took the best people to make the devil. So if people gotta be qualified to go to the island of Patmos and make the devil, why they gotta be qualified to be around us? PC realm. I would agree. So I don't be on a soapbox, but when asked the question, I answer honestly. Yeah, sometimes you gotta do that too, though. See, because you know, yeah, you can't just go along with so much bullshit that they continue to bring that bullshit around. So you gotta, you gotta, you gotta, yeah, West Coast. Yeah, that's one of the things in terms of, you're gonna have to, manifest some of your magnetic, right, to repel the unlike, right? And those that's like you is gonna come your direction. You see, being on point is something that, being on point is something that, you know, more, people want to measure that for themselves. But it's absolutely, concrete measurements. Yeah, messing with these people. It says, I was so upset the other day doing an hours to a Hebrew Israelite video that said Israelite versus 5%. And the Israelite asked the brother, what was today's mathematics? And he didn't know. Yet they still got the video out for all to bear witness to. Uh, what, like, when was this video from? Because, to some degree, you gotta, you there, Don Bishop? But that's another instance right there of, talking about being on point where look, you, you know, getting involved with debates, especially like I don't know, me personally, I don't know how I could debate an Israelite. Mostly because I don't look at the Bible as an authoritative text on all of the same things that they think that they look at it as a authoritative text on. Do I see it as being knowledge in there? Yes, but do I think we can refer to it for a definitive history of the world? No. So there was Sakari camp. Who is that? Moja Saba. Peace. Alkem Salam. The dude never said he was 5%, but just the title said 5%. See, like I said, you gotta examine bad news. He said who the original man was and they ran with it. Yeah, a lot of times you can't, like like I said, you know, you gotta look at us using, the same terminology, the same words or whatever as other people, as those as homonyms. You know what I'm saying? Where like, yeah, these words sound the same and everything, but we don't mean the same thing when the same. So, you got a lot of different people that you know, refer to that degree, you know what I'm saying, in terms of who's the original man, or especially now, uh, in the era of social media, you got a lot of things that have been introduced to the masses of the people, like you got people that call colored people Yakubians now. Lord Nasir. So, you can't get these people. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you gotta take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? Because of, the power of our knowledge and wisdom, and the power of the people that express our knowledge and wisdom over the time, right? You know, um, our ideas, our words, elements of our culture has spread all around. So in reality, right, those things is just, that's at the end of the day, we got to go and teach. You understand what I'm saying? But that teaching don't always have to take the form, or, just in this day and time, I just don't think it's that time where it's always in the form of speaking. See, it's also got to be in the form of actions. Whereas you haven't seen the original Mr. 120 in a minute. If the 85% are getting the grafted knowledge and the 5% teaching, and the 10%, hence, if you want to hide something, put it in plain sight. Um, uh, I mean, well, what's happening right now in terms of our knowledge is a little more, you know, when the mice will play when the cat's awake. Like it's some things that the real deal, is the real deal, man. It's not mistaken. Like you could get the little, toy version or whatever. You could get the bootleg and all of that, but when you get the actual, and see, that's the reality. People ain't seeing the actual. People ain't seeing the real thing. See, when it says, true and living God, you know, like the God always say, living is the activities of life. See, when people see the living God, not, you know, the definition, of God, the German word, or, a Britannica research into the concept of supreme beings. Then we talk about real live in action. See, where, like you said, people have, all this different kind of knowledge. You got all of these types of things that you may place in the in this position through your own worship. You may place these people or these concepts or ideas or whatever as God. People that think inanimate objects is God. People that think cows is God. People, that think, gods is righteous but unseen beings that exist on the top of Mount Olympus. But when you see the true and living God, there's no mistake. So I brought that up because I saw this black man of the justice who claims to be a used to be God. I can see where he crash landed from his experiments with his own high explosive due to his graphic mindset. I mean, look, and this is part of the reality of what I'm saying is that, over time, you're going to see waves and waves. I mean, you're going to see whoever's the people that you came into the knowledge with, you're going to see that wave of people thin out. People that come after that. See, people is always talking about, oh, this is it. We're about to, tomorrow we're going to wake up and all the color man is going to be our footstools. Then you got other people, this is it, it's over, it's dying. So, you see these people out there, a lot of them never really was this. See, a lot of them came into the knowledge, and that wave that they came on, they came in on, they always was really about that. It's like when, all the gangs were civilized, yeah, a lot of them got the knowledge, but not all of them were sincere about it. Some of them just thought that was the next wave. Same thing with these people that come in these music waves. Where, they just rolled in on a wave, but they never really understood our culture. They had our knowledge and wisdom, but they never really had our understanding and culture. Sometimes you're giving them extra credit and not realizing, how strong the principle of following and being a follower can be. Like I said, should I just say peace to them and keep teaching? A lot of them, they did do that. Some of them, they played their part. But that's why you gotta be on point. That's why you gotta examine it. Because see, some of those people that you will see out there, right, and they saying that they used to be, but at that time when, that's what they thought they wanted to do, they might have been one of the most, what's the word? They might have appeared to have the most energy in terms of living this. But then you never really got to that point. Like I'm telling you, people can listen to this all they want. But if you never get to a point of implementing this, like see right now, we only got a few people. I know most of the people here shot it out. But even the people that listen to this on the replay, put in the comment box. Can you name three things that changed about you in the way you apply knowledge and wisdom. And know that you didn't know the lessons and now you memorized them, that don't count. Because you can say you got the mindset, the only thing that's going to show you got the mindset is if there's some actions. See, I can't tell what you meant to do. I can tell what you did. So put in the comment box. Name three things. Name three things that changed about you, and or the way you apply yourself to different elements in your environment. You see, if you can't name those things, man, I'm telling you, you ain't gonna make it. Because, first of all, you never understood what this is about. You thought that this was about your personal salvation. You know what I'm saying? Like when people say, Jesus is the Lord, Jesus is my personal Lord and Savior and shit, and I'm gonna call on his name and he's gonna, love me into heaven and all of the however it goes. So you came amongst us, thinking that somebody or some idea or that studying your lessons would be your personal Lord and Savior, right? And then you could be able to kick back on the clouds and listen to the angels play the harp while they feed you grapes. Now listen, reality may get there. The same way I just conjured that idea in my mind, it could exist. I didn't say nothing that was wild outside. Well, actually floating in the cloud. That's a little bit wild. But right now, that's not the reality of what's going on around us. We're not in the fantasy world. This thing didn't start in the Garden of Eden and shit. This thing started in the ghettos of Harlem. This thing, you, you, y'all all know the channel, since starting in the ghettos of Harlem, that is going through in order to get to us right here today. So if you was expecting to come here, right, and meet Gabriel and all these people and be let through the pearly gate, you had the wrong idea the whole time. See, these same type of people, they'll say, see, all you studying is 120. But that's what you think, but that's all you study. And that's why you fail. You see, if you can't name these things, don't everybody answer at one time. See, that's being on point. See, that's when you're on point. I said, Divine said, I came more humble and stopped trying to be the smartest one in the room. Two, I began to listen more to what was being said, meaning being wise to the knowledge I was given. Three, I realized that there are actual consequences to my actions as opposed to me always fast talking my way out of situations by being deceptive and having a verbal sleight of hand. And Green said I changed my diet. Two, I stopped taking people's word on face value. Three, I stopped keeping what I know to myself. This was 120. When I see it, said I changed the relationship between me and my family, changed how I approach situations in life, changed me from a believer in the myth into knowing who I am as a Black man in mind and body peace. Now, look, I don't want to turn this into guidance counselor class. I want to turn this into guidance counselor class. But look, I'm just telling you, this is you. You want to know if you were 5%, right? Or look, if you just go look, just bring your lessons back now. Give you another question right now. You can ask yourself, right? It's like, look, if you can't answer these questions, if you're not satisfied with the answers, just mail us the lesson back. 2122 7th Avenue, New York, New York, 127, 10027. Mail us your lessons back, your flag, whatever other paraphernalia you been hanging on to. You see, like when, like these brothers right here, they name 3 things that they changed about themselves or the way they do things, right? So what has that gotten you? Like, where's the fruit of those seeds that y'all planted, right? After going through, right, with this labor of making this change, right? What fruit have you gotten from that? Some of y'all in the background, I know it's difficult. You rather be anonymous. But Nasir said a promotion from a cook to a chef. Me and my daughter have a better relationship. See, these is the type of things, right? That when people is doing this, and this is being the fruit of being a 5%, right? And things like this, when people can see that, this is the fruit that the 5% is achieving through that way of life. See, now you're teaching. And when people, you know, People, a lot of times, you want to reject stereotypes or whatever, but I'm just saying, if you're going to have a stereotype, some people's stereotype is they be having money. That's, you know, you know, let's not say no names. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly, there's rumors out there that there's people that have the stereotype that they have money. I'm saying this, I ain't moving the goalposts. I think that was the whole point of coming to the babies, right? It's so that we can use this knowledge in life. We can use this mindset, right, of knowing who we are and what we're supposed to be doing. And look, a lot of us, it took a long time for the lessons to sink in. But ultimately, you know, like I said, we not living our lives by stereotypes or necessarily what people is thinking of us. You see the fruits of your labor. It does go into what a person, right, is going to think is stereotypical of 5%. Like, yeah, I went to school with a 5%. Yeah, he's the smartest kid in class. Bishop said, my knowledge and wisdom seeds took on those refined characteristics that will allow my legacy to live forever. My son and my daughter are the best part of me, and the other angel babies that I have influenced. Every Green said, for me, it's built better relationships with my family and socially, or help me to realize who I'm dealing with socially or personally. It cleared the picture for me. Nasir said it wasn't no overnight success. It took the time and patience with a lot of understanding. Eddie Green said the pieces of the puzzle came together for me. I see things for what they are, not what they appear to be. See, when you don't have these things, right, because you haven't applied the knowledge, you just walking through life doing the same shit as all the 85s with one of our names. So see, like you said, you met this brother at the gig, right? However he got that gig, he's about that. But see, you applied the knowledge. Like, that's what I'm saying. If you go to school to be a lawyer, right? They teach you everything it takes to be a lawyer. And then you don't even walk in the fucking courthouse. You don't even apply for a fucking job at the legal aid or whatever the fuck. And then you say, well, yeah, that knowledge ain't about nothing. See, because that's what happens with this. People don't apply not one of the things. Like, people like, dude, you never knew your lessons. But somehow we the problem. Like, when you ask them, Be like, yo, well, what? Yeah, I didn't study my lessons, so the brothers, they ostracized me. You know, they, they hurt my feelings. But see, you went and applied the other knowledge, so you see what it's good for, whatever it is. If you're a truck driver, you went and applied the knowledge that they showed you there on how to drive the truck. But you came here and bullshitted us from the jump. You're supposed to fast 3 days, you lied to us. You never knew your lessons. You never stopped hanging around with those 85s. And on top of that, you was a follower amongst them. You never charged nobody. You probably didn't even stop eating pig. But then you turn around and say, it's the guys. Who knows? It would bring so that I became more solution focused rather than complaining. Said you speaking on interlopers, though, who claim to be born the truth never was, causing confusion. I mean, you know, some of those people, you gotta remember, we coming to people as babies, at least, well, it's not even, we coming to people as babies. And so for a lot of people, right, uh, we was uh their introduction to, even the reality that is different knowledge in the world. You understand what I'm saying? Especially, now it's a little bit different. We've done a fantastic job of getting the word out. Freedom culture. But at one time, when we was hearing the black man's God, we never heard nothing like that before. Like nobody wasn't saying that on the radio. There wasn't no movies about no people that was saying that. And so, and of course, as we all can attest, this knowledge and wisdom is magnetic. So a lot of people got involved and they did what they were supposed to do. They used this light to see who they really is and went their way. Like this opened their eyes to, certain things, that even, topics that you didn't even know existed so that you could study them. See, we introduce you to that, and then in your course of study, you see that really the magnetic, right? For you is over there someplace else. It's best that they go do that. said once he said to me when he saw my flag, wow, I didn't even know there was still guys around. I knew he was living under a rock, still slave to a mental death empowered. Yeah, like I said, he sounds uh, like somebody who came into the knowledge during one of the fad times. I'm not saying that this is a fad, right? But those times, like when Rakim came out and when Brand Nubian came out and when Wu-Tang came out and when Jay-Z, those are fads. And all that shit y'all be trying to make this, listen, I have yet to see, it's been some years now since Jay-Z wore that flag. I have yet to see the Russian people, everybody's talking about, yo, this is a teaching moment, and now we want to teach. Yeah, I ain't see nobody produce a motherfucking thing. Like, you got a handful of people, but, they probably would have been exposed anyway. Those are just fad times. Most of those people, see, he's probably somebody get involved in high school. So, just like when you leave high school and you think, all the other fads that was there, just moved on. I'm just saying that that's the big difference. That's the difference, listen, of being on point. Like, look, it came a point like that, right? When I could tell who wasn't going to make it. Like, it was just people, like I could tell, like, yeah, he's not gonna, he's not gonna, you know, in how many ever years he's not still gonna have knowledge. Yeah, they failed the Jam Sport Posse, huh? Couldn't make it in the Jam Sport Posse, huh? Two sets of bad times in my Run DMC voice. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. And that's how you that's how I started telling the difference. Is that other people, like I said, like I said, we talking about school, when I first started noticing it. So there's certain people that if if I go around a block, right, or I go to their house, it's like you got the 5% in this little pocket right here. Meaning, at school, this is the only place we call you Supreme Master, Universe, Rainmaker, Sunshine, Earthquake, Master in the name of Allah. You go in your block, they call you Corey. See, I was the other way. Even teachers in the school call me Darkim. Other people, they say, Joe, how you do that? How you get it? They get you to call you out. You see, I was serious when I said it's my name. It's my name. If you don't want to call my name, we don't speak anymore. See, I already know it's it's controversy over here because you know I'm uh kind of I'm kind of ruining family events now because you know this whole this they want to make ham, they want to put the ham and all this stuff like now. Like I remember they took me down south one time, and for the brothers and sisters that's down south, I'm sure y'all understand what I'm saying. They took me down south one time, and I refused to eat Sunday dinner. They had about 14. They made about 14 or 15 courses. I mean, it was regular Sunday. Down there they cook like that. However, cuttings from New York came down. So yeah, I rebuffed that the Southern hospitality. I'm going through. So when I go to other people's house, I can tell you ain't you ain't doing it. You ain't manifesting this the same way as me. You see what I'm saying? But even with that, look, I could tell them 1,000 times. You see, it was over time of me living it out and them seeing that, nah, listen, every aspect of my life is changing now. I ain't talking to certain people no more. I don't maintain with certain people no more. I don't go certain places no more. And when I get there, I don't do certain things no more. I do this now. Not going to church with you, not compromising. I don't care if my grandmother went all kind of awards and shit. Like, nah, you ain't coming to do that. It's because I got an award. Yeah, I see you when you get back. You're not tricking me like that. I know the wisdom bell degree now. You're not tricking me in there. You see them people that's like 5% light, diet 5% cola. They ain't gonna make it. And you gotta see y'all like those people. I don't even look. I don't even know why we started calling them 5%. I don't know. That wasn't me. That was y'all. Not my people. Calling people 5% because you don't respect who you are. So you wouldn't call everybody a motherfucking New York Nick. The person had to be qualified to be a New York Nick, and they have to be continuously qualified. A Nick could have been a New York Nick and been good for 10 years. If that 11th year ain't start falling off, get the fuck rid of him. You gotta be qualified for everything else. You want to drop all the motherfucking qualifications to be what you're saying is the cream of the planet Earth. It's a little bit ridiculous. By the way, I've been getting some thumbs down recently. Shout out to those individuals. I love y'all too. Shout out to those individuals. That's what Random Jewels is. It's just a big love fest between me and y'all. So funny you said that. It's just building with my wisdom seed, talking about how the teacher let them use computers for the test. And we used to get answers from the kids that had that period before us. Cheating on tests was harder back then. But the mindset was, hey, listen, man. But see, I don't know how to explain it, but education is a product now. They sell it. You know what I mean? You got luxury education. You know what I'm saying? You got, economy class education. You got low budget education. And that's all it is, though, is that product. It doesn't really mean nothing for the people that's getting it somehow. I don't know how they manage to finagle that to work that way, but that's how it is. Somehow they decouple intelligence from education and made that education trump intelligence. So like back in the days, used to have, even to this day, right? If you notice, a lot of those people that's up at the top, like if you look at the top 10 richest, if you look at the top 10 richest people, right? A good chunk of them is dropouts. At the college level, university level, understandable. But a good percentage of them is dropouts, right? Or even doing something that's not what they majored in. Well, now seriously, my mother damn near kicked me out because I threw out all pork products in the pots and pans she cooked them. Yeah, that'll do it. That, that's about par for the course. Yeah, actually fine. So now Cypher, middle finger to all those who gave the thumbs down. No, we gotta show them love. Now no Jesus shit. But I don't know if I spoke on this, but that's something that, in the as a nation, right? In order for us to develop a parliamentary process, right, we have to allow people to say things that we don't really like. So you gotta realize, right, that that's just physics. That's chemistry, right? That, you know, for, every motherfucker out there that love you to death, it's a motherfucker that hate you and want to kill you. They, 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 yeah, the vast majority of people don't know you. But see, like you got Cyber Divine, somewhere in the world there's a nigga, there's a brother, let me not even call him a nigga, because he may not be a bad person in all the other ways, right? But he got your picture up. He got your picture up and he plays darts. He plays darts with your face because you married you married the woman that he was counting on, the woman that he planned, the woman that he planned to have his babies with. You kidnapped her. You kidnapped her. You have her tied up somewhere in Queens if he could just find you. So you ain't got to let the haters, you gotta let the haters hate. They got to get that out of their system. You don't want that, you don't want that to stay in their system and fester and fester. Let them go ahead, smash that thumbs down. Give me, give me that piece of your mind. Yeah, true indeed. Eric Green said if they not dropouts, they made their money totally outside their field of study. A lot of these people, uh, especially these days, it seems like their real talent is being able to scam angel investors. I mean, think about it. Why you got to sell shit if you can go talk these people out of giving you $7, $8 billion? Like, who, who, who are you wasting time selling shit? Make shit products. What do we need with products? You got 8 billion right here. You, you, listen. Bishop said, I know that dude who believed I stole his girl. Dude was never in the race. So, see, that's that hate. See, he's very strange with you right now. Just for saying that. This, before I even go on. See, he's very strange with you right now. That's only proof right there that you kidnapped him. See, you took me all this gangster principle shit. You see, that's what I'm talking about. See, it's reasons like that that all of us see you don't even know. It's a woman out there with a voodoo doll with your face on it and pins stuck all in it. Just like there's people that love you. So, Yeah, we gotta come back to that was I didn't recall to say that. We had it scheduled where West Coast Wise was gonna come on and give us some kind of first person account of what was going on at at the protests in his area. You know what I mean? In terms of did they encounter any individuals, right, that was similar to the individual that caused the confusion in Denver. Now, Bishop, you see this is you ain't got to rub it in. You see, this is just I thought you said you changed now, Bishop. Bishop said, dude for the South Side trying to pimp on top of me, yet I reproduced with her twice. He can now learn from my experience. See, that's just rubbing it in right there. Don't kick the man while he's down. You know, Queensberry's rules. Queensberry rules. Down Bishop. Queensberry rules. Go ahead, below the belt. Right? Like I was saying before you interrupted me too, yeah. Wise is gonna come on. So uh I suppose Wise, because he usually does Wise Wednesdays, so I guess he's coming on. He did say something like that. That he's coming on Friday. So Friday we can I guess shake out on some of the questions for him about, like I said, did he encounter any people, right, that, he might have thought was agents, like the guy who caused the confusion out in Denver, and how they handled the situation and how it turned out. So we can learn lessons from it because right now there's a lot of things going on. I mean, quietly they I'm not exactly sure, but what's going on with it, but a bank crashed. And now they're saying they got it contained and everything is under control. But look, they said that before. So just saying that you never know when uh, we might be back in a situation like we was during the pandemic and the George Floyd, et cetera, where we'll need to observe our surroundings carefully and be on point, because even though this is the end here, we're going to go back to what our first duty is, which is to become and remain civilized. As many have pointed out, there's no such thing as you used to be civilized, because the word for used to be civilized is savage. So that being said, do we have any last questions before we wind this one here down? They're also about to rock people to sleep with the UFO talk again, with that release on the news from the Pentagon. Yeah, I haven't paid too much attention to the UFO stuff. You know, it does just appear to be a distraction. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, at least from what I know so far, you know, they only releasing the stuff they're releasing is only producing more questions. So if it's just still at the point where, like, you know, yes, some things happen that we don't know what it is, then we ain't really change that. George Tide. Got a couple of latecomers. Y'all just coming in 783rd. He was just about to wind it down. But like I said, we got any last questions? Before we take it down, I need to check. I need to check and see how many thumbs down I got. Whoever's in the room now, make sure you hit the like button. So these people, I don't want them to mess up my percentages though. But I like to hear from you. See, that's when you know, listen, it's got to be interesting. When even the haters are watching. Maybe not say haters, as if I'm such a hard person to dislike. You said, what you think about brothers getting the knowledge at 40, 50, saying, call me by my righteous name? I mean, like I said, you know, you know, was always conscious of the amount of time that I had the knowledge, right, versus the amount of time I was at 85%. You see what I'm saying? So at this point, I've had the knowledge multiples of time more than I was at 85%. You understand what I'm saying? So it's easier for me to do the things, you know, to participate in the activities of life that are this culture, because it's been ingrained in me since a child, right? And it's also through that been ingrained in the people that know me and come in contact with me. You understand what I'm saying? So, through my knowledge, you see my culture, during the time that I had the knowledge. So right now, you know, just like I said, I've had the knowledge multiples of times longer than I didn't have the knowledge. So most of the people that I know now met Darkim. You know what I'm saying? So, those is just things that, uh, you know, if you're from outside of New York, outside of New Jersey, uh, you know, maybe a couple other places, if you're not from those places, then yeah, I empathize with your situation. The people in that age group from New York, they had their chance to get it. And whatever they would rather do, this is the price now. Just like with everything else, people gave you advice, whether it was stay in school, don't hang around this group of people, don't participate in this kind of activity, right? You told these things when you was a teenager and a young adult, you ain't listen, and then it was a consequence for that. Like ain't nobody my age gonna tell me that they ain't know about the 5%. So they, I mean, it's just, uh, at the end of the day, the knowledge is for everybody. We're supposed to teach everybody, the world, no particular age group, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, like I said, a matter of how much more, how much more work that person has to put in. Like that's how much more they gotta lock in with it. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's a certain statistic on it. I don't recall what it is, but uh there's a certain amount of time that it takes you to unlearn bad habits, right? As opposed to how long it takes you to just learn something the right way. So when you get to those ages, you know what I'm saying, where you pass a child, you develop, all these bad habits, reinforce them, right? Then consequences of that bad habits have already manifested. And now you got all those, you gotta go. Your 9,000 miles is choppy water. I don't know what's the word for that, Mr. Spot. What's the word I'm talking about? The water is, you got whirlpools and shit that you got to dodge and all of that. You see what I'm saying? Where when you were a child, you be coach your 9,000, it's smooth waters. You see what I'm saying? Heard they put out info that it's an alien mothership in our solar system. Who who put that out? Yeah, turbulent waters. You know, that's what happens. Like I said, because you got all other things. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, This is what I'm saying. Like, here's a simple thing, right? You see, I'm getting the knowledge as a child. So by the time I have babies, right, I've already had a chance to think about what I want to name them. See what I'm saying? But by the time you that age, you already got kids that these people are grown. So it's going to be a total, when you said you're going to now teach your babies, you know who they are. You might have to fly to a different state by that time and wait till they get off work. Hey, look, Pops, I gotta get up in the morning. I ain't sure. Oh, you getting this shit from, man. You all right? You said you seen dudes on videos lately talking about calling this and that. Yeah, now I don't understand the context. Like they on the video telling who to call them, telling who to call them by their righteous name. But just saying that the Pentagon put out, hold on, let me see if I can Google this real quick. And Military Times, it says, okay, I mean, I don't know how what kind of site this is. It says militarytimes.com. Pentagon UFO chief says alien mothership in our solar system possible. There's a possibility that extraterrestrial motherships and smaller probes may be visiting planets in our solar system. The head of Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Research Office noted in a report draft shared Tuesday. An artificial interstellar object could potentially be a parent craft that releases many small probes during its close passage to Earth, an operational construct not too dissimilar from NASA missions. Sean Kirkpatrick, director of the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. Okay, I'm not seeing here. Okay, the AARO was established to investigate unidentified objects of interest around military installations. The Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii detected an object moving at a speed that caused some scientists to suggest that it originated outside our system. The object's orbit also hinted at other forces besides the sun's gravitational pull influencing its movement. Uh, this, I mean, I don't see nothing here. That's really, but I mean, what do our good brothers over in NY have to say about this? Is anyone anyone talking to our good brothers over in NY about this? So not for nothing, I see the cash app right there. Tickets from the mothership, guaranteed. Just make sure you put in a note, mothership tickets. I put in a call to a call to Elijah for you. If you ain't been called your name by 30, you got no business trying to have people you grew up with or family call you by your righteous name. Hmm. That's called the Black Knight satellite. How do they know that, or the so-called object properties? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's still, it seems very speculative, and see, there's also an issue where, if I throw a baseball, right, and it flies past your window and you see something fly past the window, but you ain't really see what it is, that's an unidentified flying object. So, necessarily that a motherfucker see something and they don't know what it is, it don't mean that, for me, just with this stuff and the way it's, see, if me and you come up with some signs, then we got to have all these peer reviews, everything got to be, but they throw some crap out like this and we supposed to, I don't know what. Right, the Chinese balloons was technically UFOs. That's what I'm saying. It's just something going through the air, a flying object that you don't know what it is. You see what I'm saying? Because, once you start doing that, and I'm not saying that it's the same exact thing. You see, once you start making those leaps to who and what is causing something to happen, right? based upon things that you don't know, you're in that same mindset. At any rate, do the each one teach one. Hit the like button. We'll go ahead and wind this one down. And like I said, hopefully we'll be able to get West Coast Wise in the pocket on Friday to deal with us about his experience out there amongst the secret agent lands. In the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna say peace.